Saturday, August 15th, 2020. Please do not think that you are alone in the struggles that you are facing in your life. Email me at fitnessforeveryperson@gmail.com or message me on my social medias. Just type in Avidity Fitness, look for the green pulse logo. And if you need help right this second, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. We're in this fight together, believe it or not. Sometimes it can feel really lonely out there, but we're all going through it. So if you need help, reach out. There are people like me all over the place that are willing to talk to you and boost your confidence back up. So just reach out. The Avidity Fitness Podcast. What's up, everybody? How you doing out there? How you doing, huh? How you doing? If you're new to the Avidity Fitness Podcast, welcome. If you are already a part of the community, a part of the team or the family, welcome back. It's good to have you here. Today I want to talk about adaptations and the principles of adaptation and try to articulate my understanding on how the body changes to the environment that is exposed to. Okay, I got a couple articles pulled up because I like to have some professionals that are smarter than me. I like to have their words as backup, to make sure I'm not too far off course. But so what brought me to coming up with this topic to talk about is I got a few clients that when they came to me recently, they were a little lost, as most people are when they're first starting their health and fitness journey. There's a lot of information out on the internet and at your fingertips, and not all of it is accurate or true. So things can get really, really confusing, like you're swimming in murky water, right? So without going into too much detail, one of my clients, they had a really misconstrued understanding of what exercise is. Like the way that they're living life now and the type of workouts and exercise modalities that they want to partake in, and then the results that they want in the end are like two completely different things. And I think there might be a big misunderstanding for a lot of people on what it takes to achieve certain results. And for example, one of my favorite topics of discussion that I used to rage on when I first started getting into my fitness stuff and helping people around me is that females, they don't want to lift heavy weights. The stigma is changing now because people are getting more educated and there's a better understanding on what weights do for the body. But for a long time, especially when I was in high school and stuff, like girls didn't want to lift weights because they didn't want to get too bulky. That was always the excuse. I don't want to get too big. I don't want to look like a man, or I don't want to have these bulky muscles. As if it's that easy. Just lifting weights just gets you bulky. They had this idea in their head that if they start squatting and deadlifting, that they'll look like those freaks on the bodybuilding shows. And that's a really bad misunderstanding of what it takes to get those freaky looking quadriceps that Arnold Schwarzenegger has, and Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler, and all the great bodybuilders that push the understanding of the human body. It's like there's so much more that you have to do to your body in order to cause growth like that. So like just regularly lifting weights and lifting heavy weights, it will strengthen your bones, it will strengthen your ligaments, tendons, and it will add muscle mass if it's done properly, but you're never going to get freaky big, freaky huge. You know, you're not going to look like a freak of nature unless you're doing, freaky things that kind of go against what nature is, right? And so it's like a swimmer, right? A swimmer, he wants to get better at swimming because he has a competition coming up. Um, he needs to swim. His body needs to adapt to swimming. He needs to swim more, get on a structured program for swimming to maybe bring his times down in certain races or whatever. But if you need to get better at swimming, you're not going to be cycling. You're not going to jump on a bike and cycle a bunch of miles throughout the week and expect your swim time to be better than it was before because you didn't force adaptation for swimming. You forced it for cycling. And that's something that once you start to understand a little better, you can better program whatever training that you need to be doing in order to get the results that you're hoping for, right? So, another example, it's a really good example, is abs. And if you know me, you know my stance on abs. It's a really weird thing to just want. It's just squares on your stomach. And I know it is a representation of hard work and dedication. That is true. But a lot of times when we're talking about really overweight people or um just people that just need to be in better health in general, like they've been neglecting their health, maybe they're not super overweight, but they definitely um haven't been using their body in the proper ways, right? Like they've been sitting down a lot, uh just not moving in different planes of motion and taking care of the mobility and stuff. So even for those people, just general health, like easy, simple workouts throughout the week will help them achieve better results. But they want abs right off the bat. Like they don't want to work hard. They just want to better their health a little bit, but they also want abs because they want to look good. Or if it's somebody that's overweight and they're just running, pounding the pavement and doing ab exercises, but they're not checking their nutrition. It's like in order to have abs, well, we all have abs, but in order to have the strong looking shredded abs, nutrition plays a huge part in the adaptation of the body. So if you're just running and doing ab exercises, maybe you're strengthening your legs and your cardio a little bit, and maybe you're strengthening um your abdominis, but you're not cutting back the fat. You're not cutting back the subcutaneous layer of fat in order to see those muscles. So a lot of times people miss a whole step in the process of adapting to where you can see your abs. So um I found this quick little excerpt of a guy named Dr. Hans Selly. I looked at let me look it up again. I looked it up yesterday so I could pronounce his name correctly and I already forgot. So let me go check it out again. See what it says.
Hans Selly.
Selly.
Hans Selly.
Hans Selly. I thought they pronounced it differently. But anyway, it's an article. It's called Selly's General Adaptation Syndrome. And it was the paper that he wrote was wrote in 1946, I believe. And it's pretty much like the basis for our understanding on how the body adapts to the physical stresses around it. And it says adaptation was explained in elegant detail by famous Viennese physician and endocrinologist Hans Selye in his monumental 1946 paper, The General Adaptation Syndrome and the Diseases of Adaptation. Selye explained that stress can eventually lead to chronic deleterious adaptation in the form of infection, illness, disease, and death. This landmark study describes the opposite of what athletes should be aiming for, but provides a good explanation of the concept of adaptation nonetheless. And it says stage one is the alarm stage. During this stage, an immediate physical reaction involving adrenaline and increase in heart rate resulted when his subjects were threatened or surprised. The immune system and digestive system was found to be immediately compromised in light of this stimulus to compensate for more pressing emotional and muscular needs. As a result, the immune system became depressed and the body was susceptible to illness, he found. Well, that's not good. Stage two, resistance. The immune system keeps fighting at abnormally high levels to maintain a degree of control over the stressors we feel we are becoming used to. However, this is short-lived as we can only adapt to the increases in stress for a short period. Stage three, exhaustion. Finally, our bodies give up on trying to maintain high levels of stress, and illness invariably occurs. The fighting of this no-win situation may even lead to death as the body literally breaks down. Thus, Hans Selye demonstrated that with a continued stressor, the body will eventually adapt with disastrous results. Okay, and that's really interesting because he's just talking about the way the body adapts. He didn't relate it to fitness or physical training or anything like that. And in fact, I believe I read that he was threatening them. So, like the test that he ran, he was trying to threaten or surprise his subjects. So, whenever he would get them in a threatened state or a surprise state, it showed that the immune system and the digestive system kind of shut off. So your mind and your muscles could do what they got to do, whatever it is, run, fight, whatever. And so it's saying the body is susceptible to illness at that point. So we could relate that to fitness. If you've never really trained before and now you're starting your weight loss journey on Monday, um, and you first, so let's say you do a simple whatever leg day routine, then your body's freaking out. Your immune system and your digestive system shutting down, so your muscles can find the coordination and the nutrients and the hormones and whatever it needs from the endocrine system to do what you're telling it to do that it's not used to doing. And then in stage two, if you keep going, that's what it's saying right here in stage two, the resistance. The immune system keeps fighting at abnormally high levels. So it's trying. It's trying its hardest to get control over all the stress that it's feeling. And this can only happen for a short amount of time before the body gives up trying to fight it off. And then that's when you break down and you get sick and all that. So if Monday you go in for a nice leg day. And then Tuesday, you go in for a heavy chest day. And then Wednesday, you go in for a heavy back day. And then Thursday, you go in for another heavy leg day. You're gonna get exhausted. Your muscles are gonna start breaking down. You might start getting sick because, like he said, your immune system starts to give up. So what he's saying is that the body will adapt, but you have to give it time. And um, that's true. That's true for almost any modality of training. You cannot just you can't just swim for 3 hours every day. You can't. I don't know much about swimming. I'm not a swimmer, but I bet if we were to see Michael Phelps's training regimen, he would have recovery days. He would have rest periods where he's giving his body a chance to rebuild and get back to its most healthy state. The human body undergoes a series of adaptations in response to exercise, and that will promote health and well-being and underscore the importance of regular physical activity for sure. The heart, muscles, lungs, and bones are all positively affected by the various types of physical movement, and knowing the extent to which exercise benefits these wide range of functions will enable one to better plan their fitness programs and continue their training with a high degree of motivation. And I think if you were to take that mindset and correlate it with Dr. Hahn's studies that he did back in 1946, I think it's proven itself time and time again, even today with bodybuilders or pro athletes, even people, weekend warriors, people that have normal jobs that are trying to stay in shape and maybe compete in CrossFit or whatever, semi-pro football on the weekends. Like, it can be done if you have the right programming. If you know what you're going through, what your body is being exposed to, then you can plan around that. You can plan your training and your recovery so you're building into the results that you want, and you're avoiding the exhaustion phase where you start to break down and get sick. And another really interesting thing to me in my mind is that, like, adapting has been going on since whenever the first gray matter started forming. um However many long, I'm not an anthropologist or whatever. I just, all this stuff interests me, like where we came from, when it all started, how did it start, and like that's the whole reason why we're here today surviving as humans. That's why we're the apex predators of the world, is because we adapted into what we are now. Like everything. Um, the human body readily responds to changing environmental stresses in a variety of biological and cultural ways. We can get acclimated to a wide range of temperature and humidity. When traveling to high altitudes, our bodies adjust so that our cells still receive sufficient oxygen, which is mind blowing. We also are constantly responding in physiological ways to internal and external stresses such as bacterial and viral infections, air and water pollution, nutrition, dietary imbalance, and overcrowding. This ability to rapidly adapt to varying environmental conditions has made it possible for us to survive in most regions of the world. We live successfully in humid tropical forests, harsh deserts, Arctic wastelands, and even densely populated cities with considerable amounts of pollution. Most other animal and plant species are restricted to one or relatively few environments by their more limited adaptability. And humans normally respond to environmental stresses in four ways: genetic change, developmental adjustment, getting acclimated, and cultural practices and technology. And that's a lot to take in. And this is a really educational article. It's all about, it goes into, yeah, the genetic change, developmental adjustment. It goes in down here talking about specific kinds of nutrients can result in other life-threatening health problems. For instance, when babies are very young, children have a diet that is extremely low in protein, and they will likely develop kwashiorkor. Let's see how they pronounce that.
Kwashiorkor.
Kwashiorkor. I have no idea what that is, and I can't look it up right now. But it says it also contributing to this condition is an inadequate consumption of vitamins A and E, as well as minerals, zinc, and selenium. Typical symptoms are swelling due to fluid retention in the abdomen, sticking stick-like legs and arms with little fat or muscle mass. Blah blah. Yeah, that gets really depressing. Um, but yeah, this article is all about like the history of how Homo sapiens have adapted since the beginning of time. And in this article I found, is goes a little more into the actual fitness part, like the fitness side of things, because that's what adaptation is. Well, fitness is adaptation because you have to adapt no matter what, no matter where you're starting at or no matter where you are in your journey, no matter how strong you are, no matter your previous adaptations, like your genetics, all of your ancestors' adaptations kind of resulted in what you are, like what you started out as. So now some people have thicker thighs and naturally stronger legs. So they're at a higher starting point in their fitness journey than some other people, especially if you're getting into anything strength related. So this article, it's on medicinetext.org. It says the human body adapts well when exposed to stress. Sorry if you guys hear me sipping. I've been neglecting my coffee over here and it smells amazing. The term stress within the context of exercise is defined as an exertion above the normal everyday functioning. The specific activities that result in stress vary for each individual and depend on a person's level of fitness. For example, a secretary who sits at a desk all day may push his or her cardiorespiratory system to its limits simply by walking up several flights of stairs. For an avid runner, resistance training may expose the runner's muscles to muscular contractions the athlete is not accustomed to feeling. Although stress is relative to each individual, there are guiding principles in exercise that can help individuals manage how much stress they experience to avoid injury and optimize their body's capacity to adapt. Knowing a little bit about these principles provides valuable insights needed for organizing an effective fitness plan. And that's absolutely true. And that's kind of what I was trying to um, I'm always drawing blanks for the perfect word to use. At the beginning of this podcast, that's what I was kind of trying to talk about is how people that are new to their journey, they don't know anything about like adapting, the adaptation principles. They just know that they want a result. That's it. And sometimes some people are willing to do whatever it takes to get that result. Some people want to do certain things to get that result. And that's not how it works. You don't get to pick and choose normally. Like, usually, if you want to get strong, you have to lift heavy, 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 and you have to eat big and you have to get the proper rest. If you want to get faster at running long distances, you have to stay away from lifting heavy and you have to start running more and more. So it says right here, the overload principle, consider the old saying, no pain, no gain. Does exercise really have to be painful as the adage implies to be beneficial? Absolutely not. Let me stop it right there real quick. No pain, no gain is a really, really old saying, and it doesn't mean literally pain. Like for old school bodybuilders, yeah, because they had to push the muscular overload to new extremes. But in 2020, when I hear the word no pain, no gain, I take it as more of a mental state, right? Because it can kind of be a pain to have to get up and, go do your workout anyway, even though you just worked 9, 10 hours today. Uh, so that's where I take no pain, no gain from. I take it as a state of mind, like, this sucks, but I'm gonna go get it done anyway. But I get what they're saying here. Like, you don't have to just pick up heavy weights or run until you're absolutely exhausted in order to get results, because that's not true. And it says right here, if that were true, exercise would be a lot less enjoyable. Perhaps a better way to relay the same message would be to say that improvements are driven by stress. Yeah, that's perfect. Improvements are driven by stress. Instead of saying no pain, no gain, like when you don't want to get off the couch to go work out, instead of being like, no pain, no gain, just start gorilla grunting and stuff. You could say improvements are driven by stress. So like you're telling yourself like this is kind of stressful, it kind of sucks, but I want to improve. So here we go. Physical stress, such as walking at a brisk pace or jogging, places increased stress on the regulatory system. It increases stress on the regulatory systems that manage increased heart rate and blood pressure, increased energy production, increased breathing, and even increased sweating for temperature regulation. As these subsequent adaptations occur, the stress previously experienced during the same activity feels less stressful in future sessions. As a result of the adaptation, more stress must be applied to the system in order to stimulate improvements, a principle known as the overload principle. So there you have it. Whenever you're approaching your anything, your nutrition, your business, but especially your fitness journey, your health and wellness, and your training, understanding adaptation is the key to coming up with a program that will give you results. And that's just the facts. If you neglect to understand the adaptation principle, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Once you start, whatever modality that you want to go with, if you're just trying to lose weight and get healthier and feel better, then just moving your body a little bit every day, more than you usually do. So if whatever your normal daily life is before you start your journey, then you need to start approaching your days as with the mindset of what stress can I put on myself that will improve where I was yesterday. And that's going to be different for almost everybody. We can all get results doing the same things, but to get the best results, it needs to be individualized. You need to understand your previous adaptations that you've caused yourself, good or bad. You need to kind of have a understanding on your genetics, so the adaptations that your ancestors have provided you, all of that is extremely important to finding the results that you're looking for. It's really easy to get on Instagram and find some CrossFit athlete that probably started gymnastics when they were young. They were like 5 years old, and they did gymnastics all growing up. Then they did sports in high school, and they had strength and conditioning coaches, or they had access to yoga studios at a young age, or they're just genetically gifted. It's really easy to watch them and then take advice from them, but that doesn't always translate into results. It's like cookie cutter programming when it's like that. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. I'm sure there's some of them that know what they're doing and they approach their clients with the best avenue in mind. Like they don't want to just give them an easy program that they wrote that they're giving everybody else. Like they want to understand who you are and get down to the personalized level, so you're getting the most optimal programming, you're getting the most optimal exercises, and they're helping you understand when to recover and how to rest and how to recover your muscles and retain your mobility if you're lifting weights or whatever the case may be. If you're training for a triathlon, then you need to still be able to walk around at work. So those shin splints and the sore calf muscles, like all of that stuff can be worked around. It can not necessarily avoided because that's kind of a part of adapting is having the sore muscles and getting through that. But a lot of times if you're not programmed correctly, then it's not just soreness, it's more of an injury. You got, tendonitis, or you actually pull something, and that will set your results back further. And then you'll be looking at this whoever on Instagram like, dang, well they do it, why can't I do it? It's like, well, it's really different. It really is. It's all individualized. um yes, your programming should be personal to you. That's just how it should be. um yeah, that's what I think. You should look into what you're doing now and what kind of adjustments you can make so that you're recovering better, or the actual exercises that you're doing are pointing you towards your results more efficiently. And it's difficult. It all uh sounds like easy sometimes, when somebody that's been doing it for a long time and that's been through a lot of different types of programming and have started to find what works for them, it can kind of sound uh like real foo-foo, like magic stuff, but it's not. I don't know what foo-foo magic stuff is exactly, but I know, like, sometimes, when you can't see the bigger picture and somebody's telling you like it's personalized, man, just believe me, it's personalized. Because that's one of my biggest things is when I get people coming to me, they usually just want to know what I do. They want to know what I eat, and they want to know what I work out. And I want to know what they eat, and I want to know what they work out. And they never understand why I need to understand where they're coming from first. They're like, "Why can't you just tell me what to eat and give me a workout?" And it's like, "Well, I can, man, but that's not my approach. I don't think that is the best way to get you results. I think understanding what you've been doing in every way, what you've been eating, the way you've been moving, all of that will help determine what you need to do now to get to where you want to be." So keep that in mind. Keep in mind that everything that you've done previously to starting your new training, starting your new journey, whatever it is, everything that you've done previously matters. It's more important than you might think. And that should be part of your equation to finding the answer that you're looking for. So, adaptations, it's important. Look it up, understand it. Um, don't just don't just watch somebody on the internet and do what they do, expecting to get their results, because they're a different person than you are. Motivation is a great thing, but um, moreover than motivation, discipline will get you where you need to be. So get disciplined, find find the adaptations that you're looking to get, whatever it is. You want to get bigger, you want to get faster, you want to lose weight, you want to be more mobile, uh, you want to be able to do the splits. I don't know. Whatever it is, understand the goal and then start reverse engineering it. Like what can I do to get there? What have I been doing to get to where I'm at now? Anyways, I feel like I'm just repeating myself. It's Saturday, August 15th, 2020. I'm about to get off of this podcast here and finish my day. I got some running to do myself. Probably do a little bit of heavy bag work before the fights tonight. My YouTube channel, check it out. I just dropped a new vlog series. It's a weight loss journey vlog, and it's covering and documenting my brother Andrew Coleman. He struggled mightily with mental health and a multitude of issues, and he developed a lot of bad habits, and he gained a lot of weight. And so now we're here in a new chapter of his life, and we're going to be documenting it all every Sunday. Um, we'll be documenting whatever we're doing that day, whatever workout training, whatever we're eating. I got some cool ideas we're gonna do, but episode number 1 is up there, so go check it out. Like, subscribe to the channel. Leave him some love in the comments. Let him know that you're supporting him, that you're inspired by him. Whatever. Let's do this together, though. If anybody needs help with their journey, whatever it is, weight loss especially, mobility, strength gains, whatever it is, get at me. Let's talk. Let's become family. It's a fitness family here, and we can all help each other out somehow, some way. So, with all that being said, I'm gonna go finish my coffee, and I'm gonna get to it. It's noon. It's noon on the dot. What a coincidence! It's a perfect time to jump up and go get it. Ho ho. Love you guys.